This is Cybert signing into Kane's Wrath on the map Tournament Badlands. And in the top right-hand corner as the yellow Traveler 59, this is Sharpsense. Meanwhile, in the southern position, playing as the green GDI, this is EcLipse. Sharpsense is a name that I have not seen in a little while, although I think he did just pop up in a subscriber replay showcase. But EcLipse, we of course got to see a bunch of him in East versus West, and also he played a show match for me versus Shock Trumpet? I don't actually remember. I think it was Shock Trumpet versus EcLipse. Really fun show match, and, been seeing a lot more of EcLipse. Not so much Sharpsense, but Traveler 59 versus GDI. Pretty straightforward matchup. Tournament Badlands, on the other hand, I'm glad to see this map once again. And, some people do consider this to be a non-favored map. But hey, it's GDI versus Traveler 59, so it may be advantageous for cultists, but we will see. Sometimes those fast legs can be difficult to chase down, but, who knows what the future holds for us. Big thanks to the folks who support the channel over on Patreon, such as Oz Media, Mediastorm, Deadly Shadow, Anoxic, Spud, and Admiral Akbar 47. They have all been supporting the channel for a long time, and I'm just really appreciative of that. And of course, the annoying GDI attack of that power plant. Things are shaping up pretty normally. It's a bit of a walk to your natural expansion, but both players are getting that underway. Normal harvester timings, coming up to 5 harvesters, 2 refineries on the main field really quite quickly. Lovely little, this is like one of those harmless harvester bugs, where the harvester is a little bit bugged because it's obviously not where it's supposed to be, but it adds like maybe 1 second to the refining time. It really is not a big deal at all. Also, big thanks to other folks who support the channel on Patreon, such as Interphase, Sir Jack, Dominick V, Naginatana Cruiser, Faisal A, Hawks, and Cardo S. The power plant getting attacked. Always annoying. Usually a bit easier for a Scrin player to deal with that, but in this particular case, the buzzer hive is actually quite far away. There might be an angle where if the GDI switches targets immediately, they'll get the kill. It's not meant to be. Oh, well. And that will do it. The power plant is safe for now. Harvesters at the natural expansion will be spotting the timing of that first refinery getting deployed whenever that does happen. Coming right up there for Sharpsense. And I guess if you want to just take a look at a very typical GDI versus Scrin kind of an opener, well, this APC spam through the middle of the map is not super typical, but it is kind of curious to see 5 rocket APCs through the middle of the map. So EcLipse is looking to put a little bit of pressure on at the main base. There's a decent amount of gunwalkers here, but sometimes these engagements can get a little bit weird. Gunwalkers will be able to target down the first APC. It gets pulled back to the southern position or to the far back position from these APCs, and a little bit of harvester harassment over on the left side of the map, but one buzzer squad is nothing to worry about. Photon cannon does get deployed. APCs are probably just going to have to back off here. I guess that was just sort of a greed check. Third refinery into the nerve center. Meanwhile, it is double refinery at the expansion for EcLipse, so slight variation there. EcLipse does keep his barracks around, despite the fact that he already got out the APCs, already got out the rockets, and this is a lot of gunwalkers. One APC will not be saved. No gunwalkers have gone down just yet. Reverse move bug did send one of them forward instead of backwards, but it seems to have worked out all right. The barracks is still just sitting dormant for the current time. Command post should be coming up relatively soon. EcLipse decides to go double refinery into the second war factory. So meanwhile, it's a faster tier 3 for Sharpsense, and he's going to go right into Mechapeds. EcLipse is holding off a moment longer on getting his tech and prioritizing that production and economy ahead of that. Predator tank is crossing the map. I think another one is in tow as well. 2 more potentially coming to reinforce this. Starting to trade out a couple of gunwalkers. Predator tanks are going to be a better choice for that. APC does manage to escape. A number of APCs, a number of gunwalkers, both low on health. Harvester for EcLipse did manage to escape with that blue Tiberium, and the stasis chamber was purchased a little while ago by Sharpsense. So he's got his Prodigy all ready and waiting to go. His Mechapede and his Storm Column both guarding that Tier 3 and plasma missile batteries as well. So Sharpsense is expecting that his GDI opponent is going to go Firehawks, that he's going to come in here and he's going to bomb out the tech, and he is completely prepared for that. At the very least, if the GDI does go for that, Sharpsense has secured the fact that this will be a costly engagement for those Firehawks. If they Stratofighter in, they will not be leaving there. Area Mind Control takes over 1 APC and a Predator tank. A couple of sniper teams do get called in. The Prodigy is going to be possibly hunted down here by these sniper teams, but we'll see what they're able to get. There's the blink forward. Slowfield comes in. Tripod blinks to the front line, and it's going to be APCs and Predator tanks. AP ammo is here, but no railguns on these Preds. This is default GDI, so he does have access to it. Power plant will take a decent amount of damage, and it looks like gravity stabilizer gets placed there as well. EcLipse is starting to realize that his opportunity to make a strike happen with this kind of Tier 1, Tier 2 GDI vehicle army, well, that opportunity has mostly passed. He is going to be able to pick up 1 power plant kill here. He's going to lose maybe a Predator tank or 2 to make it happen. Hammerhead's coming in, and sniper teams are actually on the ground, going to be able to clean up that Prodigy. There goes the Prodigy. It's low power mode as well, but the Storm Columns come back online, and those Hammerheads get eliminated immediately. Sharpsense loses his Prodigy, but EcLipse is completely outmatched in terms of his ground army. Sharpsense transitioning to the natural expansion, but there is the beginning of the transition to the 3rd for EcLipse. So Sharpsense is going to be hanging out here on his 2 bases. He's got a little bit of Tiberium still left in the tank, but his transition to the 3rd is maybe going to be a bit contested. Railguns have finished up, so EcLipse has now kind of a decent ground army, at least to contend with the tripods before the Eradicator Hexapod comes on out, and, well, it's a little bit too late for that. Sells off the Eradicator or the Warp Chasm immediately. No additional Prodigy just yet, I don't think. No blinking around just yet. Phase fires off on that tripod. EcLipse is going to have to try and avoid the crush, and actually 2 units do pass almost directly underneath that tripod while avoiding it. The War Factory does go down. The reinforcements aren't going to be quite so close. Tib Spike in the north getting a little bit of pepper damage from that Rifleman squad. Sharpsense, he's going to have to rebuild his War Factory. Now selling off that Warp Chasm feels a little bit silly, but he was not expecting that Predator tank attack in the north. Low power mode once again, and this is going to be an extended low power mode. There is a Prodigy back out on the field. Double Cultists as well. And this is one of those armies that if it gets caught in the wrong position, it will get destroyed by this Scrin armada. Decent number of tripods. There's a blink forward. Area Mind Control taking over 3 or 4 Predator tanks there. Juggernaut's going to be laying waste to those Preds, and EcLipse is going on the attack. The drone ship was not well set up there, so it's going to be up to the tripods to try and buy time. A fresh refinery gets established. There's going to be a mind control of one of the Juggernauts. It goes down basically immediately. Tripod stepping forward. Mind Control taking a second Juggernaut, and the Shockwave Artillery completely missing. No, the RNG catches it barely on the edge there, but the base, the entire army of EcLipse has just fallen apart here. The area mind control, the actual mind control coming in. Zone Troopers getting wasted as the Buster Swarm support power comes in on top of them, and the Riflemen going to be fighting to keep those Zone Troopers alive. They will actually preserve some of those Zone Troopers, but the entire front line has fallen, and the MCV gets capped and sold. EcLipse is getting completely smashed by Sharpsense. Eradicator Hexpod is low on health. No Corruptors were brought along for this. Cultists coming to the front line, but the Predator tanks are still here. The last Predator tank goes down. Zone Troopers coming in, but the Cultists are going to mind control all of them. The last Zone Trooper does go down. The tripods fall, and this is mind control superiority. There is no... Whoa! What? That one Zone Trooper got the final shot off to kill off that Eradicator Hexpod. Holy cow. And he's going to be able to snipe a couple of husks as well, but that Zone Trooper squad is now dead, and EcLipse's army is falling apart. He does have 3 sniper teams in the north coming in here trying to snipe those cultists. They don't quite have enough. The MCV has been rebuilt. I think the Prodigy went down, so it's at least safe from the mind control for now, and a fully heroic Zone Trooper squad on the front line here. As this cultist squads finally get sniped. The Prodigy is still here, but there's the area mind control, and the last shot doesn't come in. Heroic Zone Troopers have now switched sides. The MCV goes down once again, but the Zone Troopers are hunting them some tripods. No more Buzzer Swarm support power to come in. It's Predator tanks on the ground. Zone Troopers coming in to lead the way with the Predator tanks following up. The army has collapsed. No Corruptors, no healing forces. APC does get grabbed. Zone Troopers go for the kill. 2 almost heroic Zone Trooper squads on the side of EcLipse, and Sharpsense so close to victory, but now his ground army. There's the blink forward once again, area mind control. Prodigy does manage to escape. Another Predator tank will bite the dust as these tripods have mostly leached away their health, trying to trade against these tanks. Zone Troopers do jump jet backwards, and this Prodigy is on the front line doing nothing for some reason. I'm not sure what that was about. The Zone Troopers do not manage to close the distance or anything. This Hammerhead may just run for it and go for the kill right as the teleport tries to come in. Eradicator Hexpod is a long ways away. Another MCV out on the field, and this time there are 3 tripod husks to be grabbed by EcLipse. He can actually power up his ground army extremely quickly. One husk does get sniped. Buzzer on the ground. Zone Troopers mostly unopposed here. Another Prodigy will not emerge. The fully heroic Zone Troopers unopposed by the tripod beams. There just isn't enough anti-infantry DPS in this Scrin army. So many Harvesters all queued up at one refinery, and they just can't get that Tiberium fast enough. It might actually be better to send some of them the long way. But the engineers have come online. It looks like 4 husks will be claimed, 2 tripods, 2 juggernauts as EcLipse looks for the win, and he is going to try and race this warp chasm. Sharpsense so close to victory, and now he's trying to come in with one last push. Once this Eradicator Hexpod finishes up, Sharpsense is going to be able to move out. He's got the Corruptors this time. He did not forget that part of the equation. And the Eradicator Hexpod is out the immediate cell of the warp chasm, and there's the force fire. It has begun. Eliminating those Corruptors is going to be key. Hammerheads, they've got AP ammo, but they've got nothing else. Slowfield is here. One tripod leads the charge. It's just going to kind of go down. Actually gives veteran status, fully heroic status to that other Zone Trooper, and it looks like he has healed them up. And actually, the Hammerhead sniped the Prodigy immediately. The Eradicator Hexpod going to try and stand up against these Zone Troopers. There's the Buzzer Swarm support power once again called in. The Zone Troopers have held on to their every single member so far, and the tripods go down. Sharpsense trying to move in to close this out, but the Zone Troopers are tearing him apart. 2 tripods on the side of EcLipse, not even getting in on the fight. And Sharpsense falls apart. EcLipse gets the win there, coming back from the brink. And Rainboy, aka Sharpsense, who almost had that, and if he had built a couple of Corruptors a little bit earlier, that may have actually been it. He may have won the game right there, but he didn't have the strength. Oh, man, and that will do it for that game. EcLipse takes it with his Zone Troopers. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is Cyber signing out.